What's going on, everyone? So, Los Angeles Lakers got the first one. We have another game coming up against this same Thunder team on the road. But excellent win. Give it up to Lakers. I mean, they controlled, dominated, stuck to the game plan. The intensity was there. The effort was there. The defense was there. Guys were hitting shots, right? This is the Lakers that we know they're capable of being. This is the Lakers that I am fully confident in can win an NBA championship. Now, can they put this together 4 times a series, throughout the playoffs, right? Because we've seen them get kind of lax. Now, one of the things that I do like is the Lakers have owned the West. On top of owning the West, they usually show up for the big competitions, right? I'm not saying that they haven't lost to the better teams, but for the most part, they usually show up pretty well, which bodes well for this last stretch because you're playing teams like the Thunder twice, the Houston Rockets, right? Then you got Dallas, which should be Luka's game, and then Portland to round out the season. If it was something we were playing like 5 bad teams, I'm not going to lie, there would be a little more concern than the Lakers playing, 4 good teams, or I guess 3 good teams, and then, or great teams, right? Because they're top 2 in the West. But Lakers need to handle their business. Like I said, they controlled their destiny. They controlled the 3 seed. And bare minimum, won a top 4 seed home court in the first round. But you got to think, you have teams like the Warriors who they're blowing out and beating everybody, right? You have Denver who's right on their tail. Lakers need to win these games. This was a great game, great team effort. Luka talked about this in the Pelicans game, right? Was that the game? Was that the moment that we look back at and point to and go, that was when Luka got back into a rhythm, got back into a flow? You saw that in this Thunder game. He was in rhythm. He was hitting shots. He was aggressive early, right? He looked like Luka that we need come playoff time, right? And look, bad stretches happen. Bad moments happen, right? It happens. I mean, LeBron had a terrible stretch, right? He was like 0 of 21 from 3 at one point, had like the worst game arguably of his career at one point, right? And then got out of the slump and he was great ever since. Luka, right? He doesn't play for 7 weeks, comes back, new team, trying to figure stuff out. Reeves misses a couple games. Then LeBron's out for 2 weeks. And then, it's just, he's trying to find his rhythm. He found his rhythm. Hopefully that maintains, right? We still need that for these last 4 games and then going into the postseason. Thunder made a couple runs, but again, Lakers essentially kept it 20 pretty much the entirety of the game, had control of the game the entirety of the game. Every time the Thunder threw their punch, Lakers came back and threw their punch. Reeves was great, hit huge shots, did what he does, right? LeBron was great, did what he does. But the biggest keys were the other guys, the role guys, right? Dorian Finney-Smith hit threes, right? Gabe Vincent hit threes. Right? You had guys that gave you the effort and both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Jared Vanderbilt was great at just being the hustle guy, defense, containing and keeping guys modest. SGA is going to get his. SGA is going to have his, run and whatnot. But can you keep him from dropping 50 and getting everyone else involved and getting everyone else energized and kind of contain the engine a little bit? Thought the Lakers did a really good job of that. The intensity, the effort, all the things you wanted to see from the Lakers were all there, right? So having the role guys step up, having the role guys, come in, step in and play in the level and to the degree that we saw them play was massive for this Lakers team because we need them, right? Said it. LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. You need them to be great. You need LeBron and Luka to be transcending. You need Austin Reeves to be great if the Lakers want to win. They want to beat the top teams. But that doesn't mean that you can have those 3 giving you 90 and you're going to win every night. You need the other guys to make the hustle plays, do the dirty work, rebound the basketball, right? Sacrifice their bodies, but also hit shots. Right? The role guys. So they're going to have their inconsistencies. They're going to have their rough moments. They're going to have their great stretches. They're going to have their bad stretches. But the Lakers need those guys to, at least several of them, to pick it up. Right? We've seen this team is a very different team when Gabe Vincent, Dorian Finney-Smith are playing to a high level, when they're hitting shots. I'm not saying that they have to give you 40 collectively every night, but you need those two to come in, chime in, and give you some level of consistency on both sides of the basketball. At least be a threat enough to where teams have to respect it and kind of foil their defensive game plans. Because otherwise, teams are just going to pack the paint, or they're going to play zone, or they're going to do whatever they can to try to limit LeBron, Reeves, and Luka as much as possible, because they're going to know those three, they're going to try to go off for 100, and we need to try to contain them. So that's going to let guys like Rui, like Gabe Vincent, like Dorian Finney-Smith, those guys just open, and it's your job to hit shots. It's your job to handle and help take the burden off of those guys to the best of your ability. Again, nights happen, bad nights happen, but at least 4 times a series, can those guys really bring forth the effort? I love what we saw from them. Like I said, there were moments, a couple moments where, it looked like they lost a little focus. In the fourth quarter, there was a couple stretches where the Thunder, seemed to gain some traction there, but luckily Lakers had a big enough lead to where they were able to kind of weather those moments. But again, Lakers did a good job of punching back and maintaining, particularly the third quarter, because look, Lakers were in fuego in the first half. Lakers, played about as good of a first half as you can. They had 78, right, against the best defense in the league. And, the big question always is the third quarter, right? Because Lakers, it's been a problem for years now. Lakers did their job in the third quarter, picked it up, and, maintained that lead, which was massive. Right? Because usually they have that bad quarter. Usually they have that quarter where it's like they lose their focus, they lose their intensity, all of those things. I thought they did a really good job. Still would like to see them close quarters better, right? You had like the second quarter, right, where they, you had a chance to extend it into the 30s. You had a couple times where you're trying to extend it into the 30s and just couldn't quite get there, and then they'd go on their run. But it's fine, right? You're playing the best team in basketball. But it's like I've said, I like that matchup for the Lakers. Their size is a problem. Look at, the Thunder. All their guys are all like 6'3" to 6'6". Lakers are big against them. Yes, Isaiah Hartenstein, he's got some size to him. He can kind of do some damage, but he's not this like superstar center that's just going to, give us 20 and 20 if we don't contain him. Chet Holmgren, he's not really that interior presence. He's more of a perimeter guy. I mean, he's big and long, so, matchup wise could be a problem at times, but he's a guy that you can out-rebound and out-muscle and stuff. So I like the matchup of these two teams. This is why I think the Lakers can beat the Thunder. It's really hard to beat a team twice, though, in a 2-day span. I'm not saying the Lakers won't. I'm not saying that they can't. Of course they can. They put forth this effort again, but you got to imagine the Thunder are not going to want to lose again. The Thunder are going to want to handle business. They're not going to want to go on an extended losing streak or anything like that, even at the end of the season. They pretty much have everything wrapped up and everything tied up, but still, right? You don't want to lose focus, right? I'd love to win both of these games. Really set a statement, right? Beat the Houston, really set a statement going into those final 2 games. That'd be massive for the Lakers. But game at a time, got the first one, love it. Got to win the second one. But as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you love the Lakers' effort? However you feel, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.